welcome back to the second session of our financial management workshop. In the last session, we have looked at a number of things about personal finance. We look at financial literacy, and then we also look at how your mindsets impact your finances. Then we look at how you can set some smart financial goals. Then we also look at some of the things that you need, how your professional development or your career development impact your financial decisions, and the things you need to be focusing on the various stages of your career development or professional development. Now, in this session, we are going to be looking at budgeting and expenses management. Managing your expenses is very, very critical, and budget is one of the most powerful tools that you can use to achieve that. Now, because achieving financial stability is going to be one of the core objective of any person who is financially conscious, right? And to be able to do that, you can't do that without what? Budgeting, right? Now, by creating budgeting, you are able to take control of your spending. You're able to ensure that you save for the future, and then you're able to avoid unnecessary debt. These are the things that budgeting is supposed to avoid for you. Again, with budgeting, you should be able to control your spending. So if you claim that you are running a budget and you're unable to control your spending, you are not running on a budget. Then ensure a safe future for your finances, right? That ensuring that your finance have a future. Every income you have now has an impact on your financial future, which means from every money you make today, there is a piece of that money that is going into your future, and then avoiding unnecessary debt. Very, very critical. Now, in this session, we are going to be looking at effective budgeting strategies. We're going to be looking at some strategies for budgeting. We're going to be looking at how to differentiate between your needs and your wants, and then we're also going to be looking at the tools that can help you to manage your expenses efficiently, right? We're going to be looking at some of the tools that you can use. So let's start into it. Like I've mentioned, budgeting is very, very critical. Very, very critical. It is your financial roadmap, that will help you to allocate your incomes towards essential expenses, savings, and investment. Budgeting should help you to allocate your incomes towards essential expenses, savings, and investment. Now, without a budget, it is easy for you to overspend, leaving little room for financial growth. Impulsive buying is going to be one of the enemies to your financial stability and your financial growth. And budgeting helps you to curtail impulsive buying, right? Now, what are the things you need to do to create a personal budget? But then, to create a personal budget, it is important for you to be realistic, flexible, and to tailor your budgeting to your financial situation. This is very, very critical. As you have mentioned earlier, you are going to progress gradually in your professional journey, or in your business, in your entrepreneurship journey. You are not going to start from the one making all the money that you wish to make. So it's not at every stage of your life that you're going to have all the money you need to spend on all the things you want to spend on. So at every stage of your life, when preparing your budget, you have to make sure that your budget is realistic. It is not aspirational. It's good to have aspirations, it's good to have dreams, but your budget cannot be about your dreams. Your budget has to be about the reality now. How much are you making now, and how much can you afford to spend now, and what can you afford to spend your money on, and what can't you afford to spend your money on now. So it has to be tailored to your financial situation as at the moment of drafting that budget, right? So if you are making 20,000 now, your budgeting has to be within that framework. If you are earning 100,000, your budgeting at this moment have to be within that framework, right? Then now, what are the steps you need to take in order to create an effective budget? Number one is to track your income and expenses. Now, it's important for you to record all the sources of income and categorize your expenses. all the sources of your income. If you have 2 streams of income, you have 3 streams of income, you need to work, you need to track them, you need to state them. How much is coming from here on monthly basis? How much is coming from here on weekly basis? How much am I able to, how much will I be able to take out of this? So you need to be, and then you need to also track your expenses category. What are the things you need to categorize your expenses? We are going to look at this much more when we progress in the workshop. How you can track your expenses and categorize your expenses. The next, you need to set your spending limits. Allocate funds to essentials like rent, utilities, food, transportation, and debt repayment. So you need to sit down and set the limit of your spending. How much will you spend? If you are making 100,000 in a month, you need to set a limit for yourself and say, okay, let me save 20% of my monthly income, which is 100,000. Then, if you are saving 20%, that is 20,000. You have 80,000 naira to spend. All you need to do is to sit down and partition this 80,000 into the various expenses. Here I've mentioned rent, I've mentioned utilities, I've mentioned food or feeding, and then I've mentioned transportation. Then I've also mentioned debt repayment. Remember, you need to have a proper debt management, a proper debt mindset. And proper debt mindset is one that borrows money only when it is necessary and unavoidable, and pays it on time. The third point will be prioritizing savings. Very, very critical. You need to prioritize your savings. Save at least 20% of your income for emergencies and investment. Very, very critical. And the next is adjust as needed. Of course, your budget is not going to be engraved on stones. So as you progress, it's going to become required for you to for you to adjust yourself at some point. Some of you have fluctuating incomes. This month, because you're a business person, you don't have a fixed income. So this month you can make, let's say, maybe 70,000. Next month you can make 100,000. The other month you can make 150, and then another month you can make, let's say, maybe 50,000 because business is bad in that season. You don't have to say because I've developed a budget, I've anticipated an income of 100,000 that I must spend the 100,000, thereby going to borrow extra money to spend. Right? You need to adjust. You need to be adjustable. You need to be flexible with your budget and with your spending. If your income drops, by all means, drop your expenses. Drop your spending by all means. Right? Now, let us look at the difference between needs and want. What are the difference between needs and want? Because the difference between needs and wants is one of the key components, one of the key aspects of budgeting. If you are unable to differentiate between these two things, your budgeting is not going to be effective. So for an effective budgeting, you need to make sure you're able to differentiate between your needs and wants. Now, what are your needs? Your needs are essentials that are required for your daily living. Without needs, you will not be able to live, right? You will not be able to live. I don't know whether to say live comfortably, but if you now bring in comfort, some people may interpret it to not include some wants. But what are some of the things I'm talking about in particular? Number one is housing, groceries, healthcare, and transportation. Right? Housing, groceries, healthcare, and transportation. These are your needs. You can't do without these things. Right? You can't do without these things. You can't do without housing. You can't do without feeding. You can't do without healthcare, and you can't do without transportation. You have to go to work. You have to move around. For you to make the money, you need to move around. So you can't do without these 4 things that I've mentioned. Then what are your wants? Your wants are not essential expenses. For example, entertainment, dining out, luxury items, and vacations. Going on vacations. These are luxury. These are not needs. You can survive without these things, right? It's possible to survive without these things, and you can do it. Entertainment, you can cut down your entertainment. You don't have to go to the club where you spend money that you never budget or you never plan to spend. In exchange for going for clubbing, you can bring in other things like watching movies and and some other things like that that can help you. Just make sure that you are within the budget, right? Now, by focusing on needs first, you ensure your financial security before indulging in discretionary spending. It is critical for you to focus on your needs. Again, some of the needs that are mentioned here is housing, feeding, healthcare, and transportation. Now, what are the techniques that you need to employ to reduce your expenses? There are some of you that are already watching this video that you are currently struggling with excessive spending. You are overspending, you know it, and it's eating you up. You understand? So, what are some of the strategies, some of the things you can do, to manage to cut down your expenses? Number one is to use cash over e-payment. Use cash instead of e-payment. You see, when you make your payment using cash, you feel it. But when you make your payment using e-payment via transfer, via your debit card or your credit card, you don't feel it as much as you do when you use cash. You will become financially conscious if you cultivate the attitude of using cash to pay for your. Take for instance, you withdraw, you have 20,000 naira in your pocket, and by evening the 20,000 have diminished to only 5,000. You will be forced to think. You will be forced to ask yourself questions. What and what did I really buy? But if the money left your account, there is every possibility that you will not check your account balance by the time you get home in the evening, right? So and I'm sure this is something that you must have experienced yourself, that you feel it more when you use your cash to pay for things. I have personal experience of this. There are some things that I go to buy and I feel like I need to buy this thing, but I don't want to feel it, so I don't give them cash, even if I have cash. Why? Because when I do the transfer, it's just the transfer, I don't feel it immediately. But if I remove the cash from my pocket, I feel it immediately, because immediately, any amount of money, if you have 20,000, you remove 5,000 to pay for something, immediately it has diminished and you can feel it right there and then. You can feel that your purchasing capacity have reduced, because if you have 20,000, you have removed 5,000 to buy something else, your purchasing capacity have reduced from 20,000 to 15,000. It means that you cannot buy anything within the range of 20,000 again, because that is the cash that you have. So learn. I know in Nigeria, for example, they are trying to encourage cashless policy and all that. But as somebody who is trying to learn financial discipline, learn to use cash instead of e-payment. Number two is plan meals and grocery shopping. Plan your meals. Sit down and have a meal menu, right? Sit down and have your meal menu. This is very, very critical. Then your groceries too. Plan your groceries, right? Don't avoid the temptation to impulsively buy food items because you think it's a need. Because it's a need now, I need to eat food. So you are buying food impulsively, right? That is not. That shows that you don't have good financial literacy. You need to plan your needs. Simply because they are needs does not mean that you can spend money on them anyhow you want. Because if you spend money on them anyhow you want, you're on your way to financial independence. You're on your way to debt trap, right? So it's critical for you to plan them. Next is cutting unnecessary subscriptions. Remember, we are talking about how you can cut down your expenses. Cutting unnecessary subscriptions. There are a lot of subscriptions you have that are running that you are not using. Think about it: your television subscription, your phone subscription. You are working 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and you don't have time to watch TV. You come back from work, you are tired, but on a monthly basis you are subscribing to TV. At the end of the day, you lose most of the subscriptions, right? Or you are working in a company that provides you Wi-Fi, but on a monthly basis you are spending a lot of money doing data subscriptions on your network provider. Now, you now realize that every month, a large chunk of that subscription you did is being wiped off without you being able to use it. So you need to take a look at your subscriptions and do a cut down there. Then lastly, negotiate bills and find discount. This is very, very critical. For everything you want to buy, you need to negotiate. Anything you can get off the amount is a plus. If you are going to buy something for 30,000 and you end up buying it for 25,000, you have a plus of 5,000. You are going to buy something for 2,000 and you end up buying it for 1,800, you have a plus. You might think it's tiny, it's small, but it is a plus. Every plus in finance is positive. It's positive. But if you don't get that plus, you are getting a minus, right? So, I know there is a stage where you can get to where you don't even want to negotiate. It's fine if you can afford it and it doesn't hurt you financially. But as somebody who is growing financially, who is trying to become financially intelligent, it is critical for you to negotiate. And then it is critical for you to look for discount. There is somebody that, whatever it is that you want to buy, there is somebody that is willing to sell that particular thing, the same quality at a discount, right? All you need to do is to make sure that you don't spend your money buying low quality just because you want to get some discount. Make sure you are buying the same quality, but at a discount. That discount is a plus. It's a plus of 1,000, it's a plus of 200, it's a plus of 300, it's a plus of 500, whatever it is. A plus is better than a minus in many ramifications. So always ensure to always have a plus rather than a minus. And at every point you are having unavoidable minus, make sure there is a plus coming from it. That is why discount and negotiating is very, very important, right? Now, let us look at some of the tools that you can use for budgeting, right? What are the tools that you can use for budgeting? Number one is Mint. Mint is, is an app that helps you to track your expenses, that helps you to set your budget goals, and that helps you to categorize your expenses. So you can download Mint on your phone, and then it can help you to manage to track and manage your expenses. Number two is you need a budget. You need a budget. It is abbreviated YNAB. YNAB. It is also an app that you can use that encourages proactive budgeting and financial planning. So you can also use that. Next is Pocket Guard. Pocket Guard is also another app that you can use for budget that helps you prevent overspending by showing available funds after bills. After you have paid your major bills, Pocket Guard helps you to show what is left, so that whatever it is that you are spending, you are able to do so informally, right? The next is Excel or Google Sheet. All of us have Google Sheets on our phone. The Google Drive, you can even download it today. Your Google Sheet, you can use your Google Sheet to track your expenses. If you are not very vast in this, all of these other apps that I've mentioned are easier. You can easily use them because they already have a template and all that. But for Excel, for those of you that have a more broader knowledge about budgeting, you can use Excel or Google Sheet. Now, mastering budgets and expenses management is essential for financial success. If you want to be successful financially, you need to master budgeting. Some people think they don't have enough income for budget. That is a very big lie. Whatever your income is, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, whatever it is, you need a budget. You need a budget. Right? Now, by creating a well-structured budget, controlling spending and using digital tools, you can achieve financial stability and reach your savings goals. In the next session, we will be discussing the importance of savings and how to build a strong savings culture. Thank you one more time for participating in this session.
Hi there. Thank you for choosing to participate in the workshop. We're thrilled to have you on this learning journey with us. If you just came across this video online or on our channel, you can access all the workshop videos on our website at jomorc.com or on our YouTube channel at Jomo Mentorship. Looking to take your skills to the next level? Explore our wide range of in-depth courses at elearn.jomarc.com. Here's a glimpse of what we offer. Number 1, business planning and implementation. Number 2, business documentation and accounting. Number 3, business registration and legalization. Number 4, agribusiness establishment and management. Number 5, decoration and events planning enterprise. Number 6, fashion design enterprise. Number 7, food processing and packaging. Number 8, green energy enterprise. Number 9, oil and gas enterprise. Number 10, real estate and construction enterprise. Number 11, technology and security enterprise. And number 12, fintech and e-commerce enterprise. Whether you prefer learning remotely or at your own pace, we've got you covered with our flexible and engaging training experiences. Visit elearn.jomarc.com today and start building the future you deserve.